Welcome to the Hooligan Nation, a KISS-Centric podcast. I'm Anthony.
I'm Rocco.
Yes, you are. Welcome to our version of As the KISS World Turns, where we discuss KISS current events, rumors, news, and interviews with current and past members. Strap in, crank it up, and let's talk KISS. Hello, Father Rocco.
What's up?
So, what do you want to talk about this week?
How about KISS Storms Vegas? Oh, wait a minute. How about the KISS cruise on land?
But it's landlocked.
It's landlocked.
Yeah. So it's not a cruise, but it is a cruise. But it's not a cruise. I'm not sure what it is.
All I know is I'm happy that we're going to be cruising on a plane, just checking it out. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not happy about cruising on a plane, but it's
Whatever way we get there, I'm happy we're going. I'm really looking forward to it.
There are times when I wish I was B.A. Baracus on the A-team. Anyhow, we have a few items to discuss. So why don't we start at the beginning, where it's a good idea to start.
That's usually a good play. You know what? You don't want to start at the ending.
Yeah. So remember, I think it was a few months ago. Remember when the whole off the soundboard came out, the newest one?
Asylum?
Was that the Asylum off the soundboard? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Well, remember when that came out? Look, I am what I am. I thought this was interesting.
Hey, Popeye.
Remember when it came out and they had a T-shirt of just Gene and Paul?
Yes.
And the whole world, I mean, KISS fans went crazy. And there were complaints, and it was all over online. And then Pop House pulled the shirt, and they
it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal at the time. Well, for the I think it's 40th anniversary of Asylum, they rolled out more Asylum gear, and they do such a good job. Instead of just making a T-shirt with the four of them, they made a T-shirt. They brought the Gene and Paul T-shirt back. And then they gave you an Eric Carr and Bruce Kulick T-shirt. And I think there's a third T-shirt with all four of them on there. I'm not sure what the reason for that is. And I'm not sure how much time we should really invest in this. But I thought this was very, very KISS-like.
Well, we did the lineups. I had the Bruce Kulick and Eric Carr one. I definitely want that shirt.
Right. You want that shirt?
Yeah.
You have to pay extra for it.
How much extra?
Well,
that doesn't sound fair.
Yeah, I know. It's great. It's a KISS thing. It really is. So originally, if you wanted the Paul and Gene T-shirt, it was $35. If you want the Eric and Bruce T-shirt, it was $40. There's nothing different about the T-shirt at all, other than it's Eric and Bruce.
I still want it, but why?
So yeah. Why? What were you going to say? I didn't hear you.
Yeah. Can we talk to Mr. Pophouse and get the answer why?
Oh, I can tell you what the answer is. I mean, I can't tell you 100% sure, but I'm 99% sure.
Is that his last name now, Mr. Pophouse?
No, I don't. You know what? I don't know who owns Pophouse as of yet.
But I'm in a weird mood. Don't mind me.
Oh, all right. Cool. Good. Well, since you're in a weird mood, you know what you should do?
What should I do?
You should take a drink.
Oh! I think I just happen to have something really good here.
Oh, man. My coffee tastes so much better when it's in a Hooligan Nation.
You know what we should do?
Mug.
I think what we should do is we should say cheers to our hooligans out there.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
No, the reason why in my opinion, and I don't know this for sure, but I think this is common sense thing. They're kind of sticking it to us in one way and giving us what we want in another way. Like we as Kiss fans, and I was included, I complained about it, but we complained about Eric and Bruce not having their own t-shirts, so they gave it to us. And I'm sure they have to pay Eric's estate and Bruce for printing a t-shirt with their
Right.
likeness on it. So they're going to charge us $5 extra for it. And the cool thing is, I guess there's an outside chance that they don't have to. And if they don't, they get to hide behind the fact that people like me are going to say, well, they got to pay them for the likeness, and that's what the $5 extra is for. And they get the $5 extra. I don't know which one's which, but I thought that was a little cool tidbit nugget. And
Yeah.
for all you hooligans out there and Kiss fans and Kiss Army members that are listening to this and getting mad, don't get mad. They've been doing this for 50 years.
That's who they are.
Like, like, yeah,
They're being true to themselves.
yeah, don't get mad. I mean, you can't get any more real than trying to get an extra $5 out of us every chance you get.
You know what else? I'm gonna buy a shirt. I'm very picky with my money the older I get, and I'm the stuff that I like this. As soon as you said that, I'm like, yeah, I want that shirt. So
Uh,
I'll pay the extra $10.
hey, you're not the only one. Like that again, that's Kiss fans. We're gonna complain about it, but for the most part, we're gonna buy it anyway. We're just gonna buy it and complain about it, and we're gonna complain while we're checking out. And when we get the shirt, we're gonna go ooh, and we're gonna complain about it again.
I just sent away for a deal. I got a deal on the 10-pack of air guitar strings. So
Oh, did you?
mhm.
The t-shirt with the four of them, there's two t-shirts with the four of them, but they're not the same as the t-shirt that's two and two. But if you want a Gene and Paul Kiss Asylum t-shirt, it is on sale. Kind of funny to me, but it's on sale. It's 40% off $35. So if my monkey math is right, it's like 21 or $23 for that one. But if you want the Bruce Kulick Eric Carr one, that is not on sale, and that is $40. $40 for a t-shirt.
It's still kind of weird. How often do you see a band from like an era where all four of them were together and you're splitting them in half and you get one shirt with half, one shirt with half?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
weird. I'm not
yeah.
complaining because I'm going to want that, that shirt, but it's weird.
And you know what the funny part is? And I just noticed this, and all of this is actually a little comical to me. The the Paul and Gene t-shirt is double-sided, and the Eric and Bruce t-shirt is one-sided. But the one-sided t-shirt, you get to pay $5. Well, now it's more than $5 extra, but at the time that this came out and they were full price. I think the cover of Asylum is ugly. That's
It's I don't really.
that's really part of my problem.
So you want roadie for Gene?
I'll roadie for Gene.
Talking about limits.
I have no problem roadieing for Gene. I'll roadie for Gene. Pay me.
You're gonna pay him 10 grand?
Pay me.
12 grand. 12 grand.
Pay me. You can pay me minimum wage, but you will pay me if you expect me to work for you.
See, guys, I knew I can get him going. All right, next subject.
Unless Gene is coming to my next cookout and gonna play a set for me and do it for free, then pay me. All right, our next thing. Gene Simmons on Piers Morgan in reference to Ozzy's death. Do you have anything you would like to add to that, please?
I have some I don't know if you guys haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. I have some very strong opinions of it. He's, anybody that's followed Kiss and followed Gene, he does his shtick. He's going to, say the same things, and he has some of the crazy, corny jokes and stuff, but he was about as real and transparent and I felt like I seen the real. I mean, I feel like I seen the complete human being, Gene Klein, in that interview. Like, I never realized he had that much admiration for Ozzy as a person. He respected Ozzy an awful lot, and it hit him hard. And I didn't expect it. I didn't really, Kiss had their lane, Ozzy had his lane, and I know early on they warmed up for Ozzy or Black. No, they warmed up for Black Sabbath, and right, and I know that was a connection there, but I'd never really seen them being parallel in what they did. And like I said, Gene went on and on about how good a guy Ozzy was. Like nobody said a bad word about Ozzy. He was outrageous and he did crazy stuff, but he I think what was the word he said? He said something like Ozzy had no filter and it was a good thing. Ozzy was always Ozzy no matter what. And I
Yeah.
just I again, it was a different side of Gene. I really enjoyed the interview. It was about as pure and transparent and honest as I've seen Gene. It was just kind of like for a minute there, he didn't realize he was a rock star, and he was just kind of like being very laid back about and just trying to really pay tribute to Ozzy. And I actually appreciated it a lot.
So I watched this interview and I had my little handy dandy notebook out and I was going to take notes. And when the interview was over, I looked down at my notebook and I had taken one note and it was one word. And it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But in the world of Gene Simmons, I don't think I've ever associated this word with Gene before that interview. And that word was humble.
Oh, absolutely.
That is the most unhumble man that I've literally ever seen in my entire life. And
Well,
he went into that interview and he went in there humble. And it was it's it's
refreshing.
it's a great understatement. Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. It was refreshing to not hear about gymnasiums being a big word, to not hear about anti-Semitic or whatever it is. It's the same thing over and over again. There was none of that. There was no shtick. He was a different Gene Simmons.
Yeah, I think in some ways, like I've seen, I just recently, and you had recommended me. I just recently seen the Billy Joel thing, and only reason I'm bringing that up is because at one point Billy Joel says showbiz, and I have a feeling that term, Gene kind of feels like sometimes he feels like obligated to do the shtick, when us as fans that have followed him forever, he doesn't need to do that. Just be, especially you paid your dues after all these years, just be real. Don't try to do anything put on. But I don't know if again, it was refreshing. I can go on and on about in different areas. It was definitely refreshing to just see how pure and just giving the dude a lot of credit and a lot of respect. And like I said, it was very nice to see.
As I'm watching this, and the first thing that I think of is, "Oh, I've never seen this Gene Simmons character." And then as time went on, I'm like, well, maybe this isn't a character. And it was funny because part of the interview, he was kind of talking about, hey, the Ozzy that you see in the news, the Ozzy that you see on stage, the Ozzy that you read all the things about biting the head off a bat, pissing on the Alamo, all of that was Ozzy being a character. The real Ozzy was like this. And I thought that was interesting, especially coming out of a guy's mouth that up until this interview can't not be in character.
Right. And that's
He
kind of,
never sits down. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that because I think the Joy Behar
he has moments.
interview,
He has moments, but not he that whole interview, he was real.
right? And yes, I think like you could tell in the Joy Behar interview, after Shannon gets up and walks out, the character goes away.
Hmm.
Like he's not on camera acting anymore. Shit got real.
Hmm.
But other than that, up until this Piers Morgan interview, I don't think I've ever seen him not in, like, not the same character, but not in some kind of character.
Correct. Yeah. I mean,
Like,
and you know what? Not for nothing. Maybe that's you get to a certain point as a rock star. You feel like it's the way you protect yourself. You kind of put something out there to where you can be prepared and get if you get blindsided, you got your. It's probably a defense mechanism in a way, possibly. I don't know. But I guess again, I keep going back to the word refreshing, and that's another reason why I said Gene Klein and not Gene Simmons. I know it's Heimwitz or what's the just
time wits.
yeah Heimwitz. It was that guy. It wasn't the rock star. It was like stripped down. This he was definitely hurting.
Yeah, I think that was not an act. That part definitely was not an act. Anyway, for the hooligans out there, if well, if you like us, if you like watching these interviews, and if you know, if you follow Kiss like we do, I mean, they're on something. Gene and Paul are on something weekly. If you're interested in that kind of stuff and you're tired of seeing the same old Gene Simmons shtick, check out Piers Morgan. And that brings us to the last thing that I have, which is another appearance by Paul Stanley on another podcast. Shocker. I'm telling you, Paul needs to start his own podcast.
Yeah,
Paul Stanley, it just posted this morning, and we are taping on Wednesday, July 30th. Paul Stanley on Howie Mandel does stuff. I, I gotta tell you, people, I was unimpressed for whatever reason. They decided to put Paul on with David Arquette. Paul looked uncomfortable, and Paul's been on Howie Mandel before,
right.
so that makes me think he was uncomfortable because David Arquette was there, and I don't know why. I
And
don't know.
he didn't know about it. That was the
Yeah,
weird thing. He
that's
didn't know about it.
yeah. It was like there has to be something behind that, like somebody double booked, or I don't know. There has to be a reason.
Yeah, you have to blame Howie for that one. Like that should not have happened. And you got to think knowing Paul because he was uncomfortable. You got to think that on after it was over, hey Howie, that's the last time you got me on your show. I could see Paul doing that.
Well, I can see Paul never speaking to Howie ever again.
Right. Because
But
he put on a good face, but you could see he was uncomfortable at times.
yeah, but we got some good information out of it.
True.
I
That's
mean,
true.
Paul all but confirmed that him and Gene got paid 350 million for everything. And that's the first time that I've heard that confirmed. They got paid $350 million for Kiss plus the publishing rights. Now, I never thought they would give up the publishing, but I guess to get that kind of money, they had to give up publishing. I would never do what they did. I mean, unless the kids said, hey, sell it, we don't want anything to do with it. Like, them kids can make money the rest of their lives just off of the publishing. And Gene and Paul sold all of it. I mean, they made $350 million, and look, that's not like that's nothing, but
No, and yeah, you know what though? There's precedents for other. Michael Jackson did it. The Beatles did it. Like a lot of other bands have done stuff similar to that. I got to be honest. I never thought I'd see Kiss do that.
I wonder if they ever regret it after they do it. That's what I wonder. And I
Yeah,
think that's what would stop me is I would have, and
it's your life's work.
and not only that, but and Paul says this in the podcast that they have control over it still, and I guess maybe that's part of why they did it.
there was
because they
definitely
have a
that
say.
there was definitely probably some interesting language in the final details that laid it all out.
He then went on and spoke, yes, and hooligans, we make mistakes on this podcast, just so you know. Joe Jonas was not cast in the Kiss movie. It was Nick Jonas, and this surprised me greatly. Paul killed that and said no one has been cast for that movie yet.
But it's not completely out of nowhere. Like there was false information out there about it.
Of course there was. Well, that's what happens when
Right.
you spend your life on social media and on the internet. I can't tell you how many times Morgan Freeman has died on Facebook because
Mm.
he dies one or two times a year, and I buy it every time and Google it. And I'm waiting for Google to tell me, hey, idiot, they've done this 25 times. When are you going to get it? So Nick
Mm.
Jonas has not been cast yet for the movie. There's got to be something there, I would think.
Yeah, I think. I mean, for the hand to be tipped, there must be much more things, details that are got to get ironed out. But I wouldn't be surprised if it still ends up being him.
I would not be surprised either, unless somebody just came up with that and out of thin air.
Yeah, but I think he even commented on it, didn't he?
Paul?
No, didn't they come out and they said
Um,
that he's actually going to be practicing, trying to actually physically sing the songs too? Like,
yeah, well, that was part of, I think that was part of the reason why everybody bought it. I don't believe there was any quotes from Nick Jonas about it, which, we all got to
mm,
do a better job because personally, I don't like doing that. And we fell for it. And finally, oh, this is going to be too good. Howie Mandel asked about Evan Stanley and Nick Simmons' musical career and made mention of the fact that they're making music together. And then he asked the question, what kind of music? And
mm.
I almost fell off my chair.
Interesting response.
Paul Stanley, and I quote, it's the cross between Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Simon and Garfunkel, and Alice in Chains. Wow. I mean, that's kind of like if Marilyn Manson and Engelbert Humperdinck hooked up and one of them got pregnant, the child would be Evan Stanley and Nick Simmons music.
All right, so I have Evan Stanley and Nick Simmons on my Instagram, and I've heard quite a bit of stuff. They're supposed to be coming out with 10 songs, um, and they sound really good together. They do a lot of vocal harmonies. I heard "Sound of Silence," Simon and Garfunkel. They did that cover. I'm looking forward to more and more stuff. They got really good vocal harmonies, and Evan Stanley. I've seen some clips of him playing guitar, doing like his blues and riffs and stuff like that. He's actually a really, really good guitar player. So I look forward to seeing more stuff from them.
Yeah,
The, the,
I mean, I think I said this before.
I still got the best name for them, the Sons of Kiss.
Very creative of you. It's a great idea.
It's better than, I mean, what do they at least I'm giving them a name.
No, they're going with Stanley Simmons.
That sounds much better than the Sons of
It
Kiss.
it was funny too because that was in the interview and Howie, yeah, I guess he doesn't come directly out and say it, but he comes out and says, was that a problem? And Paul's response to that is no, they're not like Gene and I.
I remember
I,
that.
I thought that was kind of funny too. Like maybe we're gonna start to get more I don't know, more
More details
dirt,
about
maybe.
their relationship.
Yeah, like I mean, I think everybody knows that that stuff goes on. You only get little snippets of it in the past. You only get a couple little snippets here and there of actually seeing it or anybody admitting it to it. Maybe now we'll get a little more because I that kind of stuff interests me. Like not like I don't want to see Gene and Paul in the middle of any drama now, but I would love to hear about the drama that went on in the 80s. And you know, when the drama started, was it, I mean, they're both power hungry,
Mhm.
and we have to all know that they both are control freaks. So there had to be a lot of that.
You're going to have your ups and downs, but they made it work. Think about it. They were the glue.
Absolutely.
They were the engine, the glue that kept the thing going. Paul has got to be at times hard to deal with and overbearing.
Oh,
So
I'm
Gene,
100% sure of that.
right. So Gene's not the only one. It takes two to tango. They probably got to the point where they're like, I know what he's all about. I know what he's all about. It's going to be annoying at times, but they found a way to understand each other and get through that, you know?
I've said this before, and I really believe this. I think Gene is the guy that says stuff and does stuff that he then figures out afterwards. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, or maybe I shouldn't have done that. And I envision Gene being able to go to Paul, going, "Yeah, my bad. I
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that." I don't see Paul ever going to Gene and saying, "Yeah, I shouldn't have said that,"
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
"I
Paul does
shouldn't have
not seem
done it."
like the kind of guy
Right,
who says I'm sorry. That's easy for him to say.
right,
Yeah. Yeah.
right,
But
right, right,
here's
right.
another term that I think probably really applies to them. I forgive you, but I'm never going to forget, but I forgive you.
Oh, I definitely think that there's some boundaries built there,
Yeah.
and then they've talked about that. That
Right.
you know they are family, they're brothers, but there's only, I mean, more Paul than Gene has said. There's only so much Gene that I can handle, and
Yeah.
I need my time away from him. I mean, I don't know where they live in proximity to each other today, but I think at one point they lived like 3 miles away from each other.
Hmm.
And it was during one of the joint interviews that Paul said, you know, I need my space. I need a safe space away
Well,
from Gene.
I mean, they are two complete polar opposite personalities too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's two things that connect them: money and Kiss.
And drive.
Money and Kiss. If you're listening to us on any of the podcast platforms, please leave us a review. And if you just found us, check out our past episodes. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel and you like this episode, please consider hitting the like button, just like that guy, and leaving us a comment. Hit that subscribe button, just like him, so you don't miss any future episodes. And check out these episodes right here. As always, if you made it this far, thank you for supporting us. And don't forget, if it's too loud, you're too old. Peace out, Hooligan Nation.